The 5 nasty players on the Indiana Fever are undermining Caitlin Clark. To be honest, Caitlin Clark had a lot of attention from the league and a high target when she started her second season in the WNBA. After a record-breaking rookie season in which he led the league in assists and scored 19.4 points per game, expectations were quite high for 2025. But instead of going off, the Indiana Fever have continued to be extremely unstable. Actually, this roster has a few serious flaws. And now we're breaking down the 5 players who destroyed the Caitlin Clark era, beginning with the most damaging player at number 1. Cydney Coulson comes in 5th. When the Fever signed Cydney Coulson on February 5, 2025, the plan was simple. Add an experienced player to support the younger players and keep the locker room orderly. On paper, she is that seasoned voice. On the court, though, she has been a ghost. Over the span of 28 games, she has only averaged 2.5 points, 0.8 rebounds, and 2 assists in less than 11 minutes per game. She rarely shows up in lineups when it matters most. Her game has slowed to a crawl at 35, and when she does play, she seems afraid. For a team that relies on quick ball movement, quick cuts, and agility, her glacial pace destroys momentum. Clark is best served by guards who can make crucial plays, keep a quick pace, and shoot without hesitation. Coulson hesitates on open shots, dribbles for too long, and makes late passes that stall the attack. Despite being a leader off the court, she is squandering game time that young, enthusiastic players could be using. The 4th is Brianna Turner. Even more irritating are the circumstances surrounding Brianna Turner. It's not that she's not doing well. Instead, it's because she was held to such high standards. Previously a first-round pick and a top defensive player, Turner was renowned for his perseverance, intensity, and shot-blocking skills. This season, if you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. That player has not been seen. In 14 games, she has an amazing 0.4 points, 0.9 rebounds, and 0.2 assists per game while shooting just 20% from the field. She hasn't played more than 60 minutes this year. In addition to being low, such figures are historically low for a forward. Turner should take control of the glass, roll hard to the basket, and set up sturdy screens for Clark. Instead, she floats through possessions, hardly challenges defensively, and fails to capitalize on her size. Her body language makes it obvious that she is disengaged, and she rarely uses protective language. For a team that wants to maximize Caitlin's time on the court, Turner's minutes are now a waste. 3rd place goes to Kelsey Mitchell. This one is controversial because of Kelsey Mitchell's scoring history. Since entering the league in 2018, she has become the Fever's go-to bucket getter. The previous season, she averaged over 18 points each game. This year, her average is still roughly 16.6. It's not the numbers, but the fit. The offense is being spearheaded by Caitlin Clark. As the ball moves through her hands, the team should benefit from her playmaking. Mitchell, on the other hand, keeps playing as if she were the starting guard, over-dribbling, holding the ball for extended periods of time, and relying on isolated possessions to create rhythm. When Clark has the ball, the Fever's offense hums. As Mitchell takes over, the flow pauses, the rhythm slows, and the spacing gets smaller. Her resistance to adapt is creating a conflict of styles, which is forcing the team to suffer far more than the box score suggests. The tactic is known to defenders. Make Mitchell slow down, sag off, and take the challenging shots. She can hit those shots, but this team hardly ever needs them. The primary problem is this clash of styles. A ball-dominant striker and a once-in-a-generation creative are simply not a good combination. Mitchell is not pleased with the ball. She is not the catch-and-run threat you want next to Clark, and her defense is still below average. When rival guards chase her in switches, Clark is compelled to assume control. She can't take the chance of becoming sick with more work after straining her groin in July. In addition, there is the upcoming contract drama. As he reaches unrestricted free agency, Mitchell reportedly wants the highest salary. But should Indiana really pay for it? When Caitlin Clark and AIA Boston are your foundation, you build around them. Defenders, shooters, and unselfish role players. Although it is no longer proper, Mitchell still aspires to be the alpha. Dyrus Dantis comes in second. When Indiana hired Dyrus Dantis in 2024, the strategy became clear. There should be some floor space, difficult paint, and rebounding muscle to keep the offense open. But in 2025, the impact hasn't caught up with the resume. She only averages 5.0 points and 2.4 rebounds per game while shooting less than 38% from the floor. That is far too low for a forward who is supposed to finish inside and spread the floor. She turns slowly. When the chips are down, she completely disappears and has a slow transition defense. Timing is crucial to Clark's strategy. When she drives and breaks the defense, she needs teammates who are ready to fire. Dantis hesitates. In that moment of indecision, momentum, rhythm, and possessions are all destroyed. On the defensive end, the situation is the same. In the current WNBA, power forwards who can switch, close out, and protect the rim are highly sought after. Dantis struggles with all three. Clark fills in the gaps created by heavy feet, late closeouts, and quiet communication. She's hardly toxic when it comes to locker room drama. She is toxic in the passive sense. A veteran retains minutes while newer, more enthusiastic players watch from the bench. Natasha Howard is up first. The largest burden on Caitlin Clark's system is Natasha Howard. On paper, she was the ideal signer. Former All-Star, three-time WNBA champion, and proven paint presence. In actuality, it has been a slow-motion letdown. Through 2025, Howard's averages are 11.66 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. It appears substantial at first, but then you notice the repulsive part. She is not hitting 41% of the floor. For a forward who lives inside the arc, there is a warning sign. Missed bunnies at the rim, short jumpers clanking off iron, and mishandled putbacks have all become the norm. Clark's strategy requires forwards who can finish hard at the rim or stretch defenses with a reliable jumper. Howard isn't doing well either. She drifts away from the basket, avoids diving violently on pick and rolls, and, when she does get the ball moving, her touch is all over the place. Instead of being the dependable seasoned presence that Clark was brought in to be, Howard's unpredictability puts additional pressure on her to carry the momentum and the scoring, a duty that no point guard should have to handle alone. There is a clear defensive decline. At one point, Natasha Howard was a switch that locked up anyone who defended them. Quick on rotations, acute in closeouts, and able to defend many places without blinking. But about age 32, the eruption disappears. Right now, she's getting beaten on the first step. Her footwork is tight, and her revolutions are a beat too late. The guards hit without hesitation as soon as they see her wearing her covering. Instead of being a defensive anchor, she is now a defensive target. And in this case, enthusiasm is just as crucial as talent. Observe her nonverbal cues. Shoulders slumped after errors. Reluctant to go back to defense following missed shots and unresponsive to teammates' big plays. During timeouts, she is not the engaged, seasoned voice that this young Fever squad needs. Rather, she is distant. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, who, while being hurt, never ceases praising her colleagues, calling out discrepancies, and inspiring the team. It is necessary to convey that degree of urgency. With Howard, it doesn't. The disparity in expectations is enormous. There was no character introduction for Howard. She was expected to collaborate closely with Aaliyah Boston and was one of Indiana's highest-paid veterans. Instead, she has become an obstacle. She wastes time that could be used to nurture players like Michaela Onion and Chloe BBBY, where slows down the offense and obstructs space. Players that move purposefully, cut hard, and actually run the floor. Opportunities for transition are eliminated by Howard's slow decision-making. Clark will press the ball in pursuit of a cutter or caravan because Howard is too far behind. If she does catch the pass and resets instead of attacking, she removes easy scoring possibilities and allows defenses time to regroup. In addition to tangible possessions, those half-second delays could result in waste. Howard currently represents every problem in this system. Erratic speed, erratic self-confidence, and productivity unworthy of compensation. When Clark drives and kicks, she needs a ready shooter. When she calls for a switch, she wants reliable help. When the huddle begins, she wants every voice to be heard. Howard hasn't provided any of it this season. This is a turning point for Indiana. The player with the fever is the most talked about in the league. A substantial fan following driven by rookies and the perfect pick-and-roll partner for Boston and Clark. Companion. If she does catch the pass and resets instead of attacking, she removes easy scoring possibilities and allows defenses time to regroup. These half-second delays waste potential as well as resources. Howard currently represents every problem in this system. Erratic speed, erratic self-confidence, and productivity unworthy of compensation. When Clark drives and kicks, she needs a ready shooter. When she calls for a switch, she wants reliable help. When the huddle begins, she wants every voice to be heard. Howard hasn't provided any of it this season. This is a turning point for Indiana. The Fever have the league's most talked about player, a substantial rookie fan base, and Clark and Boston's perfect choice and role partner. But winning is not the same as hype. Making decisions based on logic rather than feeling is necessary to become a competitor. If they don't get rid of the dead weight immediately, Indiana could burn through Clark's prime and possibly lose her entirely. The formula is not complicated. Be with players who will protect her body, enhance her game intelligence, and keep up with her pace. There are other factors besides talent. It all boils down to knowing your role, putting in effort, and making concessions for the group. Lexi Hall is safe because of this. She makes an impression without touching, defends as if it were personal, and moves perfectly within the offensive flow. Sophie Cunningham finds herself in a similar situation. She continues, presence, loyalty, and passion, even though she isn't the team's best scorer or has the most outstanding name. It wasn't a terrible ejection against Connecticut on March 15th. A message was present. When you see Caitlin, you deal with me. Michaela Onyenware is still inexperienced, but in just 14 minutes per game, she's hitting double figures, pounding the boards, and running the floor like she's trying to earn every second. That's how the Fever must think. Competent players who can fly down their lane. Chloe BBBY, who is here temporarily, has also shown potential. You preserve such kinds of construction bricks, a flexible stretch for people with a lot of energy and adaptability. She determines the exact floor space needed for Caitlin Clark to overwhelm the opposition's defenses. She deserves the chance even though she might not be a long-term contribution. Next up is Ari McDonald, a real coin toss. McDonald took over while Clark was away. But when Caitlin was the focus of attention once more, doubts started to emerge. Can she put up with being a backup? Or will her ego ruin her role? Compare it to the names we have previously discussed. The placeholders, the underachievers, and the veterans who draft enormous contracts. Dyrus Dantis, Natasha Howard, Brianna Turner, and Cydney Coulson. In addition to suffering, they are obstructing the path ahead. This is the truth. The Fever's future has never seemed so promising. They have room in the hat. They've made draft choices. They also have the most marketable women's basketball player. There are appropriate role models in the world. Hungry veterans, selfless defenders, and lethal spot-up shooters are all eager for their chance to work with Caitlin Clark and make something very special in Indianapolis. But it won't be feasible until Indiana stops wasting roster spots. No more agreements with outdated businesses. Positive energy should no longer take precedence over high-quality work. No more charity cases. The championship window is this one. In professional sports, the opportunities also expire fast. Clark must act appropriately. She doesn't require teammates. She needs teammates who can help her. If you agree with me, kindly click the like button. Share this with every Fever fan you know, and share your thoughts in a comment. Who remains and who leaves? Time is running out, and this team's future rests on it. Please share your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.